welcome to my channel where we discuss the Power Platform and everything in between. Today's episode is going to look at how to build a custom connector. Now, we can use the Power BI API to build a custom connector within Power Apps and then call that using either Power Apps or Flow. So I'm going to take you through the various steps that you need to undertake to actually get this working. So there are various steps that are needed to be undertaken to actually get the custom connector built. So the first thing we need to do is register the API. So register the app for Power BI, create the custom connector, and then define the paths as necessary. Look at the Azure Portal and make sure the app has been verified in there, and then use the API, so use the custom connector in Flow or in Power App. So we're going to go through these step by step, and down in the comments below you can actually see exactly at which point in the video these are being referenced in case you want to jump to those sections if there's any particular part that you're stuck on. So there are some resources on the screen that are really great to have a look at. So there's a particular Medium article by Konstantinos Lernau, which is a very detailed actually blog post about how to build this API, and there's also the Power BI API documentation, which we'll be looking at and referencing throughout this video. So why do we want to access the Power BI API? Now what the Power BI API can do is it can fetch data from Power BI, such as the number of reports within a workspace, the last time a data refresh was done, and we can actually expose this in a Power App to the end user, even allowing the user to actually supply values within there. So we'll have a look at the actual different calls that we can do when we get to that section. But first of all, what does API stand for? Because that's quite important. So it stands for Application Programming Interface. To put it quite simply, it's just a way in which one particular software solution can communicate with another. So it's just the kind of backbone or the engineering behind everything. First thing we need to do is actually register the application for Power BI. So this allows Power BI to actually grant that access to the API, for example, if we use it in a web page or another application. So we need to use this page here, so dev.powerbi.com/app, so you can type that in and have that ready. So you first need to sign in, so we'll sign into our tenant, which I've already done, so I'm going to click next. I need an application name, so let's call it Jesse Dev Test for this example here, and then it asks me for the application type, so I've got server-side or native, and I'm going to go for server-side here because I don't want to use it in phones. It's going to ask me for a homepage URL, and for this I'm just going to use the powerbi.com, as I'm not actually using it within a web page, but for example if I was using it in a web page I could use that. The redirect URL is similar in that it's where you first go in when you sign in your application, but of course we're going to be using it in Power Apps. And then here I'm selected with API access, so I can use read and write, or do I want to only read or write, and you've got all these various options here, so let's just go for all of them here. And now I'm going to register that, so it takes a few seconds and I get presented with an application ID and a application secret, which I need to copy and keep safe. So of course I'm gonna blur these out, as yours will be different, and these should be kept secret, so do keep these for the next step. Step 2 is to actually create the custom connector. So now that we have a secret and a client ID, we can actually use those in here. So there's two ways in which you can actually create this custom connector, either in the Power Apps portal. So if you go to the left here, we have data, and we also see custom connectors, so we can see an existing list and create a new one. Or we can actually do this in Flow as well, so in the Power Automate section. So I'm actually going to create it in the Power Automate section here. So I've got custom connectors, and I've got a few custom connectors that were made in the past, but we're going to start this new custom connector from blank, and that's called this devjn. It's called Power BI API, so we know what that's for. Click continue, and we land on this screen. Now on this screen we get presented with a few informations, and we will go through page by page what to do. So our first page here is about the general information for the application. So we can use an icon background color, maybe we can use a picture as well for the custom connector when we use it, a description of what the custom connector does, whether you want to connect to on-premise data gateway. We select our scheme as HTTPS, a host. So for the host, we're actually going to use Power BI API here, actually api.powerbi.com, a background color, etc. So here I'm just going to put a description in. So to call the Power BI API. So I'm just going to keep it quite simple there. So the next step in this process is to look at the authentication type. So this decides how the user will actually authenticate with our custom connector. So what we need to do is we're going to select an OAuth here. So what that essentially means that we're going to be logging in with Active Directory. We're going to select the Azure Active Directory because that's how we want our users to log in. We ask for the client ID and client secret. So I'll be filling these in as per the client ID and secret that I have. So I'll be switching that when I do that bit. And the login URL, which is like so. So this is the login URL that we should be using. We should select common for our tenant ID. Our resource URL is this one here, because this is the Power BI specific resource URL. And our scope is open ID like so. And this is something that will be generated upon the creation of our custom connector. So the next screen on this process is the definition. So we're actually going to come back to this because we're going to get our custom connector working and then try out the different definitions. So essentially the definitions page is where you define what kind of actions you want to get the Power BI API to actually be calling. So at this point, let's just create the connector. Just takes a second or so. We're just going to go in and actually look at the test section. So at this point we haven't actually let Azure know that it's been authenticated, so we'll do that now. So the next step is what we need to do in Azure Portal. So we go to app registrations like so, and we'll see our Jessie dev test. This is the one that we're working on in this video, has been created. So we click on that, and what we need to now do is join and give access to in Azure Portal. So what we do is within the redirect URI here, we have to add a URI, and this is what we copied from the first screen in the security section. So that's global.consent, and you can go back to that section of the video if there are any confusions, and then you can save this, and now we have done the Azure section. So we can now go ahead and test this. So let's just get a new connection. And at this point, we're not going to be able to do anything. We're just testing our connection. So it's asking me if I want to give access. I'm going to click accept. Okay, and that seems to have all worked fine. So now let's update that connector. And let's go ahead and actually look at how we can define and what options we have to do the definition. We can now have a look at this Power BI documentation. So there are various different Power BI REST API calls that can be made. So in particular for this example, I'm going to pick just the one. So we're going to have a look at refresh history within a group. So for example, if I wanted my users to actually see when the data was last refreshed, and I want them to just see that on an app, or maybe it's an admin within my organization and I don't want them to necessarily have to log into Power BI and look through each report. Now if you have a look at this, it's saying get refresh history in a group, and it's telling us the get request, and through here we can see that it's going to ask for a group ID, and it's also going to ask for a particular data set in this particular example. So I'm just going to copy that, and we'll go over to our definitions section. So we'll click on new actions and we'll say get refresh history. Okay, I'm just going to name that better, like so. So we also need to provide a definition, a description here. So this allows a history of the refresh to be retrieved. Okay, and and the operation ID, so this is what we actually call, so I'm going to call that get refresh history as well. Now down below here we're actually asked what we need to, what is our request going to be. So I'm going to input from sample, I'm going to go for the get, I'm just going to paste that in there like so. Oops, try that again. I'm going to go to get and then paste that in there, but of course we don't want the get section there because that's already there, like so, and we'll click import here. Now we've got this all set up, so we see no errors, and we can update connector, and we can go through to test that. In order to test this, I'm actually going to use a report within a workspace. So this is what I call Power Platform Test JN, that's the workspace. And within their reports, I have this superheroes report that you may have seen in another video. Now from here, I don't want to pick the report, I actually want to pick the data set because that's what I'm interested in. So by clicking on that, you can see that at the top here, we actually see a group ID and a dataset ID. So I'm going to use that as my test. So let's pick up the group ID like so. I'm going to copy that into here for my test, and then I'm going to pick up my dataset ID like so, and we'll copy that into our test. And if we now test this operation, we get a green tick, which is great. Now we have a look at what's returned. It's told us when it's been refreshed, so this is one I haven't touched in a while. So the last time it's been refreshed is on the 8th of February. Today is the 3rd of April. So yeah, we've got that back. So, all good. So we're now going to create a flow to actually read that. So we'll go for new, and we will create this from a template. And we are going to use the template of a Power Apps button. Ooh, click that again. And we'll give that a name. So we'll call it dev.jn test Power BI. So loads of random. And then we'll click new step, and we'll pick up the custom connector which we've just created, which is the dev.jn Power BI. And we're going to use the one action we have, so obviously we could go through and add multiple actions there. And here we're asked to specify the group ID and the data set. So I'm actually going to say ask in Power Apps. That means that when we are actually in Power Apps, it's going to ask us when we actually use it. We'll click save, and we'll give that a quick test first, just to see how it is. This is very good practice when you're using Flow, is to test after each couple of steps if it's appropriate to do so. So just give that a save, and actually while that's saving, we can head over to Power BI and we can pick up our group ID like so from that same report. Over here, oops, and we're in here, aren't we? Yep. We'll test here. Yep, we want to use that one, we want to use that group ID, and we want to use this data set, like so. And we'll go to flow runs. We see that it's successfully run, which is great, and then we have a look at that. Now we can actually see this output and think about how we can actually get that out. So we see here, this is the body text that we get. So this is a good thing to actually just take this body text now, because the next step we're going to actually use is we're going to use a response. Oops, it's like caps there. Okay, which is a premium connector. We want the body, and in advanced options we can actually generate from sample. So we've got a bit of a JSON payload already, which we can actually use. That will actually generate a body for us, and then we can save this. Okay, so now if we head over to our app, which we have here, we can now bring this flow and attach it to our Power Apps. So it's insert a button, and this is how we actually attach flows within Power Apps. Go to action, go to Power Automate, and find the flow which we just made, which is a long list here now, so just find the correct one, which is dev.jn test Power BI. Just give that a second to attach. Okay, and now it's asking for two things here, so I'm just going to leave a space in there for now, and I will put in a text input. So this is going to be the group ID, and this will be the dataset ID, so I'm just going to call that group ID so that I remember for the hint text. So from a user point of view, they can actually know which ones to put where. Data set ID. Just capitalize that. And then we'll pick up the same report that we had over here. So we've already got the dataset ID here, so we pick that up and just put that in there just to get it ready. And we'll also pick up the group ID like so. And put that in here, and that's now ready. So what we want the actual API to do is to pick up what's in text input 1. So of course you would name these better. Dot text. So you'll now see that the first bit is going to be the group ID, which is highlighted there, and the second bit is _1, like so. And we're just going to give that a test and see what happens. But of course, before we test it, we need to wrap this in a collection, because at the moment all our Power Apps will do is just go ahead and call that flow and not bring it back somewhere. So we're going to put that in a collection like so, and we'll call it table 1 just for simplicity, like so. And now if we click that, and the way to click that within Power Apps is to alt click. So alt click, and that's now run the flow, and we can actually have a look at what that's done over here. So if we go to my flows here, close these down, we see our oops, I'm in my apps, my flows here. Look at this dev, and we can look at the refresh history here. So this is a good way of run history to see if it's succeeded or not. So it succeeded, which is great. So now what we can do is go back to our Power App and have a look at that collection, and we can see that there's a table there, and we see there's some data here and some data here. And actually if we look at it in this view here, we see that the data is actually within this table, so we need to ungroup this table in order to read it. So I'm going to add another step to ungroup the source, which is table 1, and I want to ungroup the value. Just double check that it's the value that I want to ungroup, which is this bit here. And again, I want to wrap this in a table. And let's call it table 2 for simplicity. So now when I run this, it's actually going to ungroup that. And what I'll do while that's running is I'm actually going to put a data table at the bottom to now show that information. So just make that a tiny bit smaller, and we'll select table 2, and we'll add some fields in so we can have the refresh type, the request ID, when it started, how long it ended, the status, did it fail, did it pass, and now we can see the various informations there about the refresh history. So there's some completed ones, some failed ones, we've got start time and end time, and of course now that we have the data in Power BI, Power Apps, we can actually format this and show the end user the information that is needed. Thank you so much for listening to this. I know there's a lot of information in there, so if there's anything that you want clarified, feel free to get into contact with me, and I hope you have a lovely day wherever you are. Bye!